yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
Oh,
This is from yesterday.
Hell
Did you
yeah!
not finish that green tea from yesterday?
What?
Did you not finish this green tea from yesterday?
I didn't.
Dude.
Let's talk about it, because I want to say something.
That pee-pee?
Let's talk about it.
That looks like pee-pee.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes, I think it starts with your
Yes, I'm
Hell
drinking
yeah.
pee-pee. Guys, welcome to the Valleycast.
Hell yeah.
So
Why do you
this,
drink the
so
pee-pee?
here's the deal. Everybody,
why do you
needs-
drink the pee-pee?
Well, I'll get to that. But here's something I want to present to the audience
You
really
drinking
quick.
the pee-pee. Why you drink the pee-pee?
This week we have recorded a lot of episodes of this show.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
And we are just plowing through them.
We are making sure that we utilize the end game of this room as
That's
much
right.
as possible.
We want to get as much use out of this room before we say goodbye to it
because
forever.
you know what sucked is that we put a lot of effort into the room next to us, a lot of effort into this room, and then the pandemic went.
Yep.
And we just didn't get to
Right on time.
frickin'
We didn't
use
get to
it.
have fun in here.
And then we brought ourselves back and we're like, let's work together and let's do things. And then we got COVID. God.
And it just the world just kept kicking us while we were down, and but whatever. That's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is
Why you
that
drinking the pee-pee?
We've been recording episodes after episode after episode in this room.
This is the 12th
This
one
is
we've
the
done.
12th
This is
one
we're here
we've
for
done.
12 hours.
And honestly, you might not even hear them all. But we got this. So we took a walk between episodes yesterday to Starbucks.
We
to
took
get
a
some,
brisk.
Yeah, it was
walk.
real nice. It was a little just to get a little pep in our step, maybe get a little coffee bean in our
nice.
body.
There was a
Wake
man
us
who
up.
offered us a free haircut.
There was, and that never happens.
Yeah, because there's a salon school.
Yeah.
That's like right near
The dude's
us.
just, yo, can I cut your hair?
Yeah.
I love that I
Pretty
could
much.
just hang out over there and maybe get a free haircut.
I know.
Like you're just walking back and
The
forth
problem
in front of the
is
windows.
you have the risk. You run the risk of it being really bad.
Yes, because they're learning.
because they're learning.
They're learning. But when
Anyway.
you have hair like mine, this
Hard
is
to
the
fuck
type
it
of
up.
hair that you can just like fuck up. It's going to grow real quick and we'll
Yeah.
wash and repeat and rinse and cut.
I feel like I'm in a place where you could do that to me probably because I could just wear a hat over whatever mistakes are made.
But why you drink the pee-pee?
So anyway, so we went and we took a break. I got myself a nice green iced tea, which is kind of like, my drink when I go to Starbucks. I like a green iced tea, one pump.
One pump. Yeah.
Singular pump.
One pump of whatever fucking trash garbage shit they pump into these things.
One pump gum.
And then it looks like
Agave.
pee-pee. So the reason why I'm bringing this up
Do I drink the pee-pee?
is because of this.
He's
I
holding
will-
up a venti cup.
Yeah.
It's clear, and it looks like there's about 1/5 left of the amount of pee-pee if the cup was full.
So, with that said, and that's good information to share, Joe, because the point I'm trying to make is, and the statement I will make at the beginning of this Valleycast is this. I will be drinking this throughout the episode. How much of it is inconsequential? The point is that when I am done with it, this show will be over.
Oh. So where the length of the show is determined upon
How much pee-pee is
the
left
pee-pee in the cup.
in my Starbucks cup.
Ooh.
So get your stories in, talk about whatever you want to talk about, get your shit out.
Yeah, but what if you just don't drink any of it and we're just stuck here?
I could do that, but I'm thirsty.
The rules have been
But
set.
that's also a day old.
I'm thirsty. It was in my fridge.
Oh, it was?
I went straight into my
You
fridge.
brought it-
Oh no, I didn't leave
I
it
thought
here.
you left it here.
No, I didn't leave it here. I took it home and
He takes
drank
the pee-pee home.
and drank as much of it as you see is gone now.
That's
I had
a very
I had an
interesting-
amount of it this morning.
It's just a very interesting place to leave it. Like, I would have probably either thrown that away or just chugged the rest
Well,
of it.
because this isn't where it was at. It was like
see.
half, and
Okay.
I took it home and I drank a little bit more of it, and then I put it in the fridge, and then this
Put it in the fridge.
because I didn't want to be up all night.
Put it in the fridge.
And I thought that idea was alright.
It's the pee-pee in the fridge.
And now we're using it for the show.
Pee-pee in the fridge.
So yeah, and then this morning I drank a bunch of it, and then this is where we're at this point.
Wow.
I'm thirsty. I like to have something to drink with my shows.
As
Go
one
back-
does when they are parched.
Go back through any podcast I've ever done in my life, and you will notice that there is definitely a drink next to me
Every single time.
every single time.
Every single time.
Wishes to be a big man, and he's a boy, and he becomes a big man.
And I like to be able to, wet the whistle. So when this is unable to wet my whistle anymore, the show will be done,
We're just
ladies
done.
and gentlemen.
We're
So
just done.
welcome to the Valleycast. Kevin's
Look
here.
at it begin.
Yeah. Joe's here. Once again, Elliot is not with us. He's been traveling,
Yeah.
but he will be back at
Searching
some point.
for the longest wave and hanging out with monkeys.
Yeah. And then, he's gonna come right back. He'll be right back.
Let's be right back.
But here we are.
After these messages, we'll be right back. I had a thought.
I just drank some.
Nice. Oh man, there may not be much podcast left. I had when you just wake up or you're just wandering through the day and then you have this random nostalgic thought that just comes to you and you remember something that is so inconsequential to the moment and is totally not connected, but then you're like, oh wow, I haven't thought about that forever. And
For those of you that are listening to the podcast, I pulled a tiny piece of trash out of my pocket and gave it to Kevin. And then Joe took it right out of Kevin's hand and proceeded to pretend to put it in his mouth and casually eat it.
Okay, so carnivals back in the day, you'd go to the carnival and you'd ride the rides if you're a ride rider, you'd get the food if you're a food eater. But then there's also the carnival games, right, with the little prizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, squirt the target.
Squirt the
and
target.
Throw
Yeah,
the dart.
throw the-
Specifically throwing the dart with the balloon, right? Back
it.
in Montana in the 80s and early 90s, the coveted prize, and Steve, tell me if you remember this, the coveted prize for popping a balloon for $1 was a glass plate with art of bands in the 80s.
yeah.
But they were
like
everywhere.
Prince and
Metallica.
Credence and yeah.
They'd have glitter on them. They said they were painted on sometimes. It seemed almost some things were spray painted on. He took another sip, everybody.
Dang, dude.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I think I had plates growing up myself. I think there were plate prizes.
The glass plates,
I remember getting plates and being like, well, this sucks.
the square.
But do you know what they have?
I'm talking a piece of glass,
Yeah.
not a plate.
Maybe not that,
This is a
okay.
straight up glass that they would maybe put a frame on. Maybe.
Yeah, no, they'd have
Whoa.
frames. It would be like a piece you were buying a poster.
but they were 6x6 pieces of glass.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
Those
but,
aren't cool, though?
But
Well, I thought they were cool back
They
then.
were.
but
Okay.
they have big ones in frames and stuff too.
If you
Big versions of them. So that's the small version. Cuz what you want is the big glass
Yeah.
poster.
glass.
Right, cuz it's fucking cool, I bet there was a surplus of that shit and they
Dude,
just
yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
sell them.
And it's so dangerous. These kids running around with their little
the
glass
glass?
plates
Oh,
with
yeah,
poison and Skid Row on them.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
But you'd get those too, huh?
hang on a second. No, I just want. I hate the sound that's happening.
The buzz.
It's killing me, and I'm trying everything I can over here. I'm trying new things. I'm just trying new things out,
See if I
guys,
can
over
look it
here.
up. Let's see if I can look one of these things up. And
Kevin, you have Carnival Memories,
Dude, there was one carnival when I was 8 probably that I won so much stuff. I went with
Whoa.
family friends. My family friends took my mom and dad were out, so family friends took me and my sister to a carnival, and we came home with tons of stuffed animals, plates. I remember
Yeah.
tickets to different things that we could go to, gift cards, and
So it was all from you?
mostly me, because I remember there was one tire game that you have to throw the ball through the tires, and
Yeah.
I was just nailing every
What
single
the
one.
fuck?
I know.
How old were you?
Probably 8.
Whoa.
Young. I know.
Was that
You
a
just killed
high
it.
of your life? Was that
I remember
did you feel
being
real good
yeah,
about it?
because
You
even
gotta
the
carry
family
that shit
friends
around.
I know, that's what I
It's the
remember
worst.
too.
Yeah, but it's kind of at a carnival, it's like it's kind of cool when you walk around with all that shit in
It
your hands
is.
because you're like, whoa, this guy's like a fucking
And
winner.
the dad of the family friends, like the guy, he was like a very like he just loved spending money.
Yeah.
So he would just
Play
like,
as many
totally-
games as you want,
That's what
kid.
it was, and just like let me collect all this stuff for you, and was just cheering me on as I would nail stuff.
You know who I love at the carnival? Straight up, yeah,
Yeah, those are them.
Yeah.
Those little glass plates.
yeah.
He-Man and fucking
Oh,
Transformers
yeah.
and shit.
Wow,
'Cause
it's just
it-
like
I
a
guess it
glass
was-
square.
It's,
yeah.
exactly what it is.
It was painted onto glass.
printed. Yeah. They called it printed glass.
Yeah.
So weird.
printed glass.
Printed glass.
We'll pop that pimple.
Balloon
You know who
popping.
I love at the carnival? The guy that's like the tough guy with like the backwards hat and the jersey.
Oh,
like, you know, in
yeah.
my days,
The-
like they were like the homies.
Is
you
he the
know?
one? The ones that are yelling at you and like bullying you into playing games?
No. I'm
No.
talking about I'm talking about
Playing.
someone who's there.
Oh.
And then you see them and they've got the giant fucking doll under their arm and they're like walking around with their girl and they're like looking at you. It's the only place in the world you can walk around with a giant fucking cuddly teddy bear and people are like, that guy
Nice.
fucks.
That guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That guy fucks, man.
That guy pops some balloons, but later
That
he's gonna
guy-
be slamming. You know what
That
I'm
guy's
saying? He's
popping
slamming.
hymens. I didn't
Getting
like that.
some printed ass.
But yeah, I like it. But so did you like feel like, oh man, then I must be good at carnival games?
It was a
And did you
great-
try again at some point in your
I don't
life?
think we went to carnivals that much, like, because that was like my one carnival memory. I remember another carnival we went to was like maybe the LA Fair or like OC Fair.
People love.
Okay,
the
so I
OC
have
fair.
something
Yeah.
to present to you, Kevin, and I don't want to
Oh.
like
Should I go
alter.
back?
I don't want to alter your memory of success in your life and a good memory.
Present.
But you did say in your story that this person who took you
Yes.
loved to spend money.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that you are remembering the wins because he spent so much
much
money
money.
that you couldn't not win?
I would say no because I remember the shock from not only the
Whoa.
person like who was, you know, the worker there.
Yeah.
I remember he was
the
like,
carny.
"Whoa, that kid's got an arm."
They're
Yeah.
called carnies.
The carnies.
Carney. But
Wait,
yeah, he was
okay.
like, "That kid's got an arm. That
Okay.
kid, stick him to the MLB."
All right, well then here's the deal. Next time there's a carnival, we're going.
Great.
And we're going to see if you've got,
Great idea.
Dang.
right? If you've
Great
still
idea.
got the skill. The
I can
carnival
contest.
skill.
We went on a hike and
Yes?
we were trying to, there was a sign on the hike and we were trying to throw rocks at the sign and I didn't take too long to get
think
it.
it
Whoa,
was your
Kevin's got good aim,
First
I
or
guess.
second shot.
Yeah.
So specifically, if there's some kind of tire game, that's where you're going to feel most confident.
Some sort
But-
of aiming. Yeah.
But do you feel like, yeah, any kind of aim carnival
Yeah,
game?
because
you're
even
gonna-
darts I was good at.
All right,
Archery.
let's make it happen.
Whoa,
Let's do it.
Not too often somebody comes with such robust confidence on this podcast.
No,
Look at
I
this
know.
guy.
Well, I mean, you know,
8-year-old
and,
me.
and look, he said himself that, you know, maybe that was like that time in your life, and you know, and you don't remember another time where you were like killing it.
Nope.
Did you go on the zipper? Did you go on the Ferris wheel? Did you go on the Gravitron?
Did you get your asshole ripped out by the Gravitron?
No, but there was one ride where we were gonna go on it, and then we saw that it was under maintenance, and there was just one worker with a wrench like on the bottom, just like tightening up
Oh, yeah.
a thing, and it was like, that might be a bad idea to go on that one.
I mean, all of those things are just kind of like all held together with bolts.
Yeah.
They're like they transform into like semi trucks when they
And then
go
they
to the
drive
next
them
city and
off,
stuff like
yeah.
that. They're all they're all worrisome.
I know, and like, you know, you really hope there's someone that's like inspecting all that. But man, these traveling little carnival
I mean, I wonder what the
things, they kind of
statistics-
come and go.
Yeah. What do you think the statistics are of like people?
Like carnival
Yeah,
accidents.
carnival.
Well,
Let's bring that
see
up.
what
We're all Oh man.
All right, here's the deal. I just tipped over the piss
Oh
bottle.
no,
from
the
Starbucks.
podcast was almost over.
But here's the deal.
Carnival accident statistics.
You guys ready for this? Nothing fell out of it. Okay, so we're still good.
Stab.
No, you gotta do like carnival.
The CPSC
Accidents.
estimate estimates that over 4,400 children are injured in carnival ride accidents per year. A handful or less of people are killed in carnival ride accidents each year, but deaths can happen, just like the incident involving the Texas woman and the California woman, period.
So there's another site here saying that this one says, while most of us expect a day at a theme park to be fun, entertaining outing with friends and family, we also know that there are risks involved with roller coasters and other rides, albeit minor ones. It says there are roughly 30,000 amusement park related injuries each year. However,
fatal accidents are much rarer, with just a handful occurring over the last decade.
Should you be overly worried? I want to see how much longer we can go for. People, it's probably insane to hear that.
Well, who's the Texas?
I don't know. That was just leaving that out there for us.
Ooh, how about how many people have died from a Ferris wheel?
Have you heard of the Texas woman?
Have you heard of the Texas woman?
Wow.
A Ferris wheel accident sounds horrifying. I hate that.
Yeah.
Had my wife, Heather, we went on a Ferris wheel earlier this year, and she
died. Rest in peace.
Terrified. I'd never seen somebody be so terrified of a Ferris wheel before. I didn't understand it.
I would
comprehend
never go on a Ferris wheel.
Really?
Ever.
Was it not a swinging one, just normal?
No, but
Yeah,
just a
never.
normal everyday Ferris wheel.
Never, ever,
They
ever,
don't.
ever,
Wow,
ever.
they scare you, huh?
I went to, no. Definitely not.
I just get
Never.
bored.
Yeah, no, I don't
get
want to
bored
be
with
up
it.
in there.
Huh.
I don't want to be
Was
up
she
there.
scared to go on it and then?
Oh yeah, she was. She was like petrified. I
Yeah,
was like,
same.
You're fine,
Dude.
look, you're fine,
No,
just
that
kick it."
that would have been me as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just? It's
Just the height. It must
is
be
the
the
heights.
heights.
It's
Yeah.
precarious.
And the
too.
fact that you're like when you're done, you can't just like get off. Like,
Yeah,
you
you have to sit there.
Like I'd be like, okay, 2 minutes. If someone was like, I can guarantee you a 2-minute ride on this thing, I'd be like, all right, fine, let's fucking do it.
Sometimes it just pauses at the
I
top.
went to Santa Cruz and I took one of those like sky bucket things that like there's a boardwalk in Santa Cruz, and you can take like these little sky buckets that go like over the
They'll go over like
the
theme
pier.
parks a lot
Do you
of the
sit in
time.
a bucket?
Yeah, you
and
just
then
sit in this little bucket and you can like your feet dangle and you can like look out over the edge and like the carnival people are all under you and there's like it's kind of neat. I did it at night and it was terrifying.
I was gonna
and
say,
I would
that
never
sounds
do it
more.
again.
That sounds more scary.
I would never do it again, ever again.
Like if you were on a
again.
ski lift, you'd shit yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Never
I'm
gonna
even
happen.
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
ski
Never
lifts are
gonna
a little
happen.
sketchy.
Because ski lifts are even sketchier.
there's no
Because
strap.
They're super sketchy.
they're out there all day in the elements, and they're like, how often are they being?
and you just have to
maintenance?
drop. You
It's,
just jump
uh,
off.
and they put too much on the rider, like to be a
Yeah.
a smart
responsible.
person.
Right,
Yeah.
responsible.
Check, Steve. I'm sure you've already heard this, but I just got to read it out loud because I happen to be on a site now that is just like terrifying. Some accidents happen on rides many of us are familiar with. Disneyland's Matterhorn ride seems fairly innocuous, but it's terrifying to realize how easily rides can end badly if safety precautions aren't followed. On January 3rd, 1984, a 48-year-old woman was tossed from one of the bobsled cars. She was, keep going, hit by the following bobsled, resulting in instant decapitation.
Whoa, on the Matterhorn?
On the Matterhorn.
What year was that?
1984. Wow, you didn't know about that?
Well, I've known about a lot of the accidents in Disneyland because there was a book that this guy wrote. He used to work at Disneyland, and it's called
I have a question too about this because there was a rumor that I heard, and I want to know
Behind
if
the
you've heard
Ears or something like that, or like whatever. And he just like wrote all these accounts of like, you know, all these like crazy things that
Yeah.
Disney wouldn't talk about.
Hides. Yeah.
So there's just like chapters and chapters full of like the people that died at Disneyland and like the big like crazy. Like at one point there were these people called yippies that were like they were hippies, I guess.
Okay.
But they called them yippies at this time for some reason. I have no idea. But they basically came to Disneyland like on a grad night or something.
Okay.
And like took over Tom Sawyer's Island and were like doing drugs and fucking and stuff. And they couldn't like get rid of them fast enough. And they were like going from park to like land to land, just like being destructive and like crazy, causing like little riots and stuff.
How many about?
Yippee! Like 100 or
Okay,
something.
so a big
big group.
Okay.
a big old group of yippies.
But it talked about the deaths deaths and stuff too, and there were like deaths on the monorail.
Well, this
like
is
there
what
were
I had a
people
question
crawling
about.
up into the park and stuff. Yeah.
There was a rumor that I heard where some guy was on the monorail track.
Oh yeah.
It ran over
Yeah.
him, and then like the blood.
Yeah, all over the park.
All over
yeah.
the park.
Oh,
Yeah.
just like because it kept
Oh
going?
yeah, just
kept
dragged
going.
stuff everywhere.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. It's like, what do you even do, man? You just shut down the whole park probably for a couple hours.
On December 24th, 1998, a large metal cleat ripped from the side of the ride called Sailing Ship Columbia.
Yep.
As it fell,
Swung
it hit
through the crowd. I remember
two
this.
park guests and one Disney cast member. One of the visitors, a 33-year-old man, suffered a severe head injury, later dying in the ICU.
Yeah. Just because a rope like broke off on the
It just like,
big boat that floats
like
by.
Final Destination. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus.
Just wrong place, wrong time.
The wrongest place.
The wrongest place at the happiest place.
Yeah.
God. Just a chick.
The happiest
Done.
place on earth at the wrongest time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Don't not ride the ride the wrongest time.
Yeah.
longest time.
There was also a people mover. There were a lot of accidents where people were like really hurt, like very horribly injured. But one of the most famous ones was a cast member who died on the Carousel of Progress, which is a ride that or like an attraction that used to be at Disneyland.
I was gonna say, what is this?
But now it's like some kind of like Star Wars. I don't know what it is now actually.
oh, I know what you're
The
talking
big
about.
giant building
Yeah.
that kind of turns
Yeah.
into Tomorrowland.
It used to be like
Intervention.
God,
Yeah.
you talked about this before, but
Yeah.
don't stop. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there it used to be a thing called America Sings.
Okay.
In Tomorrowland, and a lot of the animatronics from that attraction went to Splash Mountain. So a lot of those
Okay.
animals you were in there singing and stuff. So at the time, the way that the theater worked was it would like the whole thing would like move on a turntable and
Yeah.
the whole building would turn. But there were sections of the structure in the theater that were like stable, and the circular
I know where
theater
this
would
is
kind of
going.
just like go
Yeah.
slowly past it. So this cast member literally got caught between the two scenes and was like
crushed in a weird way.
bifurcated, or how do you
like
call it?
drug between like the two scenes.
Yeah,
right?
like basically crushed.
Yeah, and then like drug
Yeah.
to the next scene.
Yeah.
Where he was revealed.
Yeah, yeah.
oh my lord.
So, man, sometimes shit happens, at Disneyland. And that happens at Disneyland.
That's what I know.
So, like, carnival rides? God damn. Ride at your own risk, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The decapitation ones freak me the hell out.
There was also, remember the guy that died on Big Thunder Mountain on his birthday?
yeah, that was not
That
too
was
long ago.
That was like 20 years ago
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Was it a heart attack or did he?
No, he
No.
was just there on his birthday, and I think he was in the back of the car.
He was like reaching out. He was like he had his hands way
Or-
too far out or something like that.
I don't know if it was. I don't think any of it was his fault.
It wasn't?
No, I think it was just like some kind of brake mechanism problem,
Oh,
and
shit.
another train car crashed into his car, and it instantly killed him. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
On his birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
The
birthday.
Wrongest place.
Wrongest place and the
place.
happiest time of the happiest day of your life.
Yes.
Christ.
I mean, I guess if I was gonna go, it would be nice to go somewhere where you're happy and
If it
having
was
a great
instant
time.
like that,
and-
too?
Yeah.
But then you're part of the lore forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Imagine
go,
how surreal it must be to be like other people on that
Well,
train.
this is what I was thinking about.
And you're like getting off of the aftermath, and you're like walking past this
Yeah.
guy who's like dead in a Disneyland
Well, even
car.
like the guy who got stuck in between the
Right.
scenes on that thing.
Right.
Like, what if that was your Disneyland story?
Right.
I saw this
like
guy.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone die. Like, or like the guy get hit in the head by the fucking thing
Yeah.
in a crowd.
there was people standing next to him when
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
Good Lord. It's
Like it's bad enough when
It's
you witness
traumatizing.
things like that outside of like places where you feel like you're safer than normal.
Yeah.
But Disneyland is one of those places where like you just feel like nothing bad can
It's
happen
such
to
an
you there.
unexpected, yeah.
You feel like they work extra hard to make sure nothing bad can happen to
Yeah.
you there. And then you watch something like that happen. Like imagine like I'd love an AMA from someone that witnessed
Yeah,
an accident
totally.
or a death at Disneyland.
and how the response was.
Yeah, and how they're doing. I mean, dude, I bet you Disney gets everyone in the vicinity, like Men in Black, like
Da-dink.
neuralizer type shit. I bet they wish they had
Dude,
that.
I was just about to say,
but they probably like take people aside and go
And-
like, we will provide you with free therapy services. We had like, please come this way. We're gonna give you free passes for the next like month or whatever. And I bet they go like, and if you'll sign these documents,
100%.
we will give you this like golden pass. You go to Disneyland
for the rest
whenever
of
you
your life.
want.
Yep.
But like, you cannot talk to the press. You cannot talk to right.
It's gotta
Probably.
be. There's got to
I
be.
Because like, why haven't we heard from people
Exactly.
like that?
Well, other than there's the fact that people probably don't want to talk about it too much, but if it's a ride malfunction or something like that, 100%
Right?
they're covering
Like
their
something
asses.
that's their fault or
And
something.
It's
I mean, it is their fault.
and they're
most of the
great
time.
at PR, old Disney, because
Yeah.
you don't hear about
don't
this
hear
stuff.
about it, no.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's
They're
still-
very good at it, and
It
they
gets
have
buried quick.
and they have their plain clothes like security that are like blended in with guests. Like they have like
So
Disney
crazy.
bags and they have like balloons and shit,
Yeah.
and they're like literally at any moment like, where? Okay, we'll be right there, and they just like, and it's like, oh,
I love it.
right?
I
Like
love
it's just
that.
very controlled, safe,
Yeah.
cool like place. I just
Yeah.
want to know, man. What are those people like? Imagine being a kid too, like a kid and seeing that.
Dude, that's a good television
That's-
show.
yeah.
That's a great television show. Like the behind the scenes, like security team for a
Dude,
park.
we
Yeah, an
were
amusement
talking
park.
about just in general, why hasn't there been like, why hasn't Universal specifically, who has like Universal Studios, the theme park, all of that shit, the production's all there, why haven't they done some kind of like Office type show set in the
Yeah.
Universal theme park?
It is weird.
With
yeah.
the,
or
they
even
can have like the tour guides on the fucking tour that
you
are like,
wouldn't even need to brand it as Universal or anything. You could just make it like a big amusement park.
yeah.
What the hell are they
World.
called? What are they called when you work at Universal? Do they call them cast members?
I mean, well, Disneyland's cast
they're
members.
cast members. What is Universal?
I don't know.
call
It
them?
might be similar. It
It's
might just
something
be
like
cast
that. But
members.
yeah, it's just you do the behind the scenes
Yeah.
of all the young struggling people working
Yeah.
those jobs because
Yep.
there's enough different jobs in these parks too where you can keep it interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tour
Bunch of different
guide,
character types.
concession.
But I think they're like,
Yeah.
I think they're all nervous about making their theme parks look bad in any way.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
And I think it like you can't have a fun show like that unless you have like shit going wrong and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That'd be
Like think
great.
about The Office and all those types of shows.
Yeah.
Like it would make any office building like that look like shit, pretty much.
It makes me remember the climax of Beverly Hills Cop 3 where they're running through a theme park. And
Right.
yeah, at the end of it.
But I've always had this idea too, especially whenever like Halloween Horror Nights rolls around. I always think of like, why hasn't there been a movie set in like a Halloween Horror Nights kind of scenario where like a group of friends all go to Halloween Horror Nights, but like the killers in there are real.
Actual
And they're
murders.
actually getting murdered through the like Halloween Horror Nights experience, and like they have to escape and shit. Like why haven't they done that
Yeah.
shit? That's like it writes itself.
There's got to be a version of it, like Fun House back in the
I
day.
mean,
Or
way back in the day, there was like a 70s one set at a carnival.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like, theme
big
parks are
ride.
like a huge thing now.
Yeah.
And Halloween Horror Nights type things happen all over the world. Knott's Berry Farm, Magic Mountain, they all do some kind of horror themed thing where they scare you
Yeah.
while you're in a theme park. It's such a huge thing. It's so strange they've never done it. And I bet it has something to do with, first of all, theme parks that exist probably not wanting to have something
Associate.
filmed there because they have to shut down their productions and shit
Yeah.
so people can film there and stuff. And then not have it associated with like terrible murders and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But not only that, let's say you take a theme park that exists out of the equation and you build it. That's like the most expensive fucking
Exactly. It's too
production
much money.
possible.
Yeah.
doing that.
So it must be somewhere between that this kind of movie doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But doesn't it just like fucking
I
write
mean,
itself?
even like as an indie movie, I feel like I'm surprised that. But there's probably is like a bunch of movies that have been made about like mazes that
sure,
go wrong.
a carnival or
Yeah.
something, but not like a theme park that
A
has like
theme park,
rides
yeah.
and
There's no
stuff.
like theme park movies.
Yeah,
yeah.
and it must be because there's some legality between
Yeah.
theme parks not wanting their theme parks to look that way.
Yeah.
And then also like the expense of having to like build things.
Is the closest thing that we've gotten to the genre of theme park movies Adventureland?
Yeah.
or
Remember that?
Tomorrowland.
Is that it?
With
Yeah.
George Clooney.
Well, no, Adventureland is actually like a theme. Well, but it's actually a carnival, I thought.
Is it? Not. I don't know.
Adventureland, I think, is a carnival.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the one with Jesse Eisenberg
And Bill Hader.
Bill Hader,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Tomorrowland was based off of
Yeah.
Disney,
But
Yeah.
not a
but
theme
then they
park
go like
It wasn't actually,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
they go into Crazy Town.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, what if you could do like a CG animated thing?
They did. It's Wonderland. I think it just came out like 2 years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's about a girl who had a big imagination, and then her and her mom would create theme parks in her room. They like build them from scratch and stuff, like models, right? And then mom, did you solve it? Dude, what just happened? How did you solve it?
This is beautiful.
I just completely killed track 4.
Well, that'll do it.
And I think it's just because it's not plugged into anything.
That'll do it.
Wow. If anybody couldn't hear it, we just had a constant buzz the entire time, and then it just disappeared, and it felt
sounded
like bliss.
Bliss.
Yeah.
Like we're now in like a nice room. That's like, wow.
Hello, everybody. Today's podcast is brought to you by one of our favorite sponsors, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep, like magic. Food wizards. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Yeah, baby, look, fall can be hectic, right? But HelloFresh's recipes save time you'd otherwise spend on meal prepping, grocery shopping, and shopping. So you can focus on getting back into a new routine and spending quality time with your family. And look, fall is going right into the crazy meal times with the Thanksgiving and the Christmas and all that other stuff. So save yourself some stress and time by getting these pre-made, delivered straight to your door meals, pre-assembled. You will get to make them. That's one of the best parts, baby. HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, including vegetarian, calorie smart, and gourmet options, providing plenty of variety. So if there's people in your house that have certain needs, like my house, they got you covered, baby. We have a kid who is very allergic to many things: wheat, gluten, rye, barley, all of it. And still, with HelloFresh, we were able to give them those stats from my daughter, and they were still able to hit us with a lot of quality meals. And it's good ones. We got some good meals. We've had the brown sugar bourbon chicken salad. Oh, that was great. And then they also had a mushroom and herb shepherd's pie, which I really liked. So it's there. Your palate will thank you. And so will your time spot on your body, because you're going to save a lot of time. And you're going to learn some things. I've learned so much about cooking just by following their easy directions and making stuff myself and making me feel like a food wizard. So go to HelloFresh.com/Valleycast14 and use code Valleycast14 for up to 14 free meals, including free shipping. So that is HelloFresh.com/Valleycast14 and use code Valleycast14 for up to 14 free meals, including free shipping. Do it, everybody. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And also one other thing. We've told you before, but we've sent out our order for the movie game, and we've ordered extra copies that you can still order on our pre-order site. So go to bit.ly.com/movie game and hit that pre-order button, and you'll still be able to order some of our backstock, which has a limited availability. So if you're looking for the movie game or the expansions like TV show movie game or video game movie game, again, thank you to everybody that supported us and helped us get this far so far. And here's to some more, And here's the rest of the Valleycast.
But okay, it was her and her mom building theme parks inside her room.
Yeah, just like that's how they bonded. Then the mom dies, and it's like,
oh, geez, okay.
Talks about depression and stuff like that, and then she somehow gets whisked away to a Wonderland in the forest that is the physical representation and actuality built by magic of the theme parks that she built when she was
that's
a kid.
neat.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it good?
I think my kids liked it. Yeah, it's fun.
Wonderland.
I started the first episode of Midnight Mass.
Which one is that one?
So it's that guy that makes all those really cool Netflix scary miniseries.
Okay.
Like the Bly Manor and like the...
Oh, yeah. My daughter's been just
The Haunting of
taking
Hill
all of that
House.
in. Yep.
So it's all really amazing stuff. I haven't seen Bly Manor yet, but I watched Haunting of Hill House.
You liked it?
Loved it.
My daughter loved it too.
So good. So creepy. It's one of those ones where like you'll just be watching a scene and then you're like, fuck, that fucking horrifying face has been there the whole time, hasn't it? Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And then you bring the whole scene back and you're like, yep, there it is. God damn it. God damn this scary show. And it just does that kind of shit to you while it's also doing conventional scary shit, which is really cool. Same guy that directed the Dr. Sleep.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Which I loved. Director's cut.
You loved
the
Dr.
director's
Sleep?
cut.
Wow.
I loved it.
Cool.
Loved it. And it's a Shining sequel.
Exactly.
Which is like, what the fuck?
so
Which is why I
cool.
thought it didn't have a chance for most
But
people.
it's this guy that makes really cool horror shit, and he's like doing great, and it's real good.
Cool.
So he made this show called Midnight Mass. I don't want to say a fucking word about it because it's very spoiler possible,
Okay.
spoilery, but great cast. Kind of a slow first episode, but I'm in.
You're in.
Nice.
Okay.
And it's, the it's just great. Yeah, one of our pals is in it, Raul Coley.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's fun.
yeah, from
Yeah.
iZombie and stuff like that, and a bunch of stuff. Dude's great, handsome man.
Daughter's been just watching it, all that stuff constantly, and then I catch glimpses of it. They're shot very well.
You should watch Midnight Mass with her.
Okay. That'll be our one of our
start
little
watching
Halloween
it.
things
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm trying to
Okay.
fucking get into this what's it called? La Brea. This La Brea show. You guys heard about
I
this
haven't
shit?
heard of this.
It's the yes.
You heard it? Yeah. So like, I don't know if their marketing's real good or I don't know what's happening, but everyone's fucking talking about this La Brea show.
Okay.
And everyone's like, it's a new kind of like Lost
Okay.
kind of show because it's very mysterious.
Yeah.
And from what I know, because I'm not looking to watch trailers
yeah.
or read too much about it, I just want to jump in. From what I know, and Joe, you can tell me if this is what you've heard too.
I'm pretty blind myself. I've seen posters.
Okay,
and,
I think. Oh, so you don't know anything about
I know.
the?
Like, if you go for it.
Okay, so from what I think I know, the La Brea tar pits just kind of sink into the earth and cause this like big giant disaster in the middle of LA, basically.
Okay.
And then it like transports people who like fall into it into like a hollow earth dimension.
Is that what's going on?
Apparently.
Oh.
And some people are saying it seems like it's like a Land of the Lost kind of thing.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Maybe there's dinosaurs. I don't know.
But people
I don't
are
know
into
that.
it. People are saying
but
it's
everyone's
good.
talking about it.
Okay.
It just premiered last night
Oh,
on
okay.
Peacock. Who has that shit?
I literally know not a soul.
Not a soul.
0 people.
So it might be hard to get your hands on.
Peacock.
But I'm hearing like really interesting things. Yeah.
I hadn't
cool.
heard of it. Yeah.
I love that idea that you go into like a hollow earth, like different dimension.
What did that recently?
Kong,
Godzilla.
yeah.
Kong.
Oh wow.
Godzilla vs. Kong. It's so stupid. So stupid. Oh wait, like maybe 2,000 miles under the land, we've got like an entire world of giant monsters,
And we didn't know.
and somehow we didn't know. Can you please explain?
He's a tool-wielding ape.
And at first I thought maybe they were going to a different dimension because they were using like all this magic and shit to like initially get there, remember?
Yeah.
They were using like Kong's
Nope.
or Godzilla's like nuclear power
Blast,
to get
yeah.
there or whatever. But then later on in the movie, fucking Kong just like punches Godzilla down into it.
Yep.
Into the earth. And it's like, wait a minute.
deep.
So you didn't need all that magic to get there?
Nope. I wasn't a huge fan of that flick.
Well, it's just, for me, look, and again, just because I didn't enjoy that aspect of it doesn't mean that you cannot like it or whatever.
That's very
It's
kind
up
of
to
you,
to
Steve.
like whatever the fuck you
Hey,
want.
that's good.
But I will say this. My problem as a moviegoer in these days is if you don't properly establish your universe as one that is extremely different than ours, then it's gonna be hard for me
Then
to
you're
apply
gonna live
my
by the rules that are
Right.
established in our universe.
Exactly.
Yes.
And when you break those rules big time, Free Guy or Kong fucking versus Godzilla or many other countless movies, then you got me out. I'm out, baby.
Yeah.
Gone.
I'm gone. But yeah, Midnight Mass is so far
Okay.
a little slow, but I think if this guy can't do you wrong.
Yeah.
He's a good director.
I'm in. It'll give me a good darkness break. Not break. It'll fulfill the darkness that I'm not getting by watching shows like Ted Lasso, which make me fucking cry and are perfect.
I heard there was like a real obvious kind of Emmy bait episode that just happened.
Oh really?
Perhaps, maybe, but man, I'm a sucker for all the saccharin from Ted
Yeah.
Lasso. It's
Yeah.
perfect. I like it. I like where they're going with it. They've got a lead character that they set up for a full season being the happiest guy on earth, and now we're seeing what the cost of pretending to be the happiest guy on earth
Whoa.
is.
Wow.
I think it's great. I think it's commentary of like people are going through so much more than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
at
Right,
any
right.
time.
You just don't know what people are up to inside their tickers.
Great
Let's
cast
get to a
too.
break.
Bill Lawrence.
I know. I see it.
Oh my gosh, he's
Steve's
down to
about-
the last sip.
I don't
what
think
is
that's
that?
the last sip.
No.
I can get 2 more out of that.
Yeah.
You can get 2 more? You can get 2 more sippies out of that?
Oh no.
it's gonna
He's
show me.
already.
Ooh, it looks too much like pee-pee.
I'm drinking pee-pee to prove a point. I still have not touched Ted Lasso.
Neither have I.
But I'm like slowly making my way through stuff that I was supposed to watch.
There's a lot.
Ted Lasso or Barry? Which do you like more?
Barry's so good.
I think they're so different that it's hard to say which I like
Okay.
more. I get something different from both of them
Okay.
that I think are
And more
both-
Barry is coming.
I
And
miss
they're
Barry. I
necessary.
feel like it's been a while.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I mean, he was going through shit too.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
he was.
true.
You know, he probably needed a little bit of a mental break.
You're right.
Good point.
He's
I think I heard though a friend of mine was doing like stunt work on the next season.
Oh,
So
really?
I think they've been working.
I bet
on
you're
it.
going to be doing stunt work soon. You
Oh no,
fucking pro.
No,
you're a pro. You're
no,
a
I
stunt
think
man
they're
now.
the pros. They make me look like a pro. I think they make anybody look like they did a good job doing.
Yeah,
shit
Barry's
like
great.
that.
I would say it just depends on what you're in the mood for, man. Ted Lasso will lift you up and give you
That's-
hope
yeah.
in humanity and people, and Barry won't.
No.
Barry will make you laugh and make
And-
you feel like
It's just cool.
It's
too.
just well
It's-
made,
yeah, it's
cool,
just very
fun, funny.
Barry's great.
entertaining.
Henry's great.
Aw.
Mr. Winkler.
Oh, Henry Winkler.
The girl
Dude's a
character in
legend.
that show, though, makes me want to punch
I
myself
know.
in the face
I
a
remember
billion
that.
fucking times.
Such an accurate representation of LA
LA,
people.
yeah.
Just makes me want to rip my own throat
I
out
mean,
and
yeah.
then choke on it.
I feel that way about Dave.
Oh, I've never watched any Dave. I
Neither
got to
have
watch
I.
some Dave.
But I like his music and stuff. Music's real good. And all the other characters are real good. I just went through the whole show.
You did. You did it
Yeah.
both seasons.
Dave, yeah,
Dang.
Hell yeah, dude. Good job.
pretty good.
Good job.
Pretty good stuff.
And that's what we're watching.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a thing that I want to bring up, but I
Oh,
don't know.
please.
I haven't thought it through to bring it up well, so bear with me.
okay. And
There-
you know the rules. As soon as
I
this
see
tea
it.
is gone,
I
it's
see
over.
it. I see it. You might, yeah.
It's the
Is
I'm
there?
starting to feel a little thirsty.
pressure
I
of
know.
1,000 TPs. PT. PPP.
There's what's a moment, because in like you guys being comedians in the creative field, there's a moment for me when I'm making something that makes me like feel so fulfilled and like, oh shit, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Where in the process of you guys creating, whether it be on YouTube, podcast, anything like that, where's like the moment that you know loosely happens when it's like, that's what I was after? Because with me, there's a moment when you're going through the whole like pre-production of something, you're thinking about the ideas and everything, and you're getting a little bit excited about it, about how you want it to look and feel, and then you start working on it. It starts to become a sludge because it's like, this isn't how I thought it was going to be turning out. You finally get, you're working hard on this project, and then you get to this moment for me where it's like, wow, that was what I was picturing. That was what I was after.
You got
and
over
it
the
hits.
hump.
Dude,
yeah.
I rarely get that.
Yeah?
Because I don't really plan
Yeah.
for anything.
But
And,
even in like,
well, I was trying to think of the latest thing I did that was like conception to completion.
yeah.
And I think it was like doing this Bill and Ted
Yeah.
thing we did.
And when was the
And-
moment for you when you were like, wow, this is super cool?
Well, that moment happened not as a way that I had hoped that I'd get there.
Yeah.
Because I also have this like lack of confidence that just prevents me from that.
Yeah.
To plan for that
Yeah.
success or whatever. But I worked on my last scene for so fucking long. Like the first scene I did was just the opening that looks like the TGIF thing.
Yes.
And that was like so simple because I just took the Bill and Ted themes, cartoon theme
Yeah.
song, and then just edited that over stuff from the movie and made it seem like it was setting up the movie a little bit.
Yep.
So I did that, and that was great, and that whole idea worked out, and I felt good about it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel great about it, but I felt good about it.
Yes.
And then this fucking mall scene, which is 5 fucking minutes long. I had this 5-minute scene to do whatever the fuck I wanted
pick
with
the
it.
long ones.
Yeah.
I know, and I just so happened to. We already know what we're doing next, which we haven't announced yet, really. But if you watched it on Twitch, you kind of got a little teaser at the end. But we were working on the next one, and I also picked another 5 fucking minute long scene.
Man.
And I didn't know that's how long it was. I was just like, oh, I want that scene because
And
we were
then
like watching it,
yeah.
and we were like, oh man, that's such a good scene. But anyway. So like with the mall scene, I didn't know what to do with it, and I had like a loose like I'd watch the scene over and over and over again and try to figure out like where I wanted to go with it as a joke and stuff, and like what the running, if there was like a running gag or anything like that, and I it took me so fucking long. And then finally, I came up with the idea to use the Final Destination escalator thing, and that just like totally pushed. It took off.
Yeah.
Well, that's what sometimes happens with me too.
You trip into an idea and it just feels good.
Yeah, and it had been a long time that had happened.
Yeah, especially with edits like here, because that is normally, it's not like we have a planned idea of what the thing's gonna look like. It's a lot of times it's found in the edit a little
Well, we
bit.
pass it to you, and you kind of add that extra layer of comedy.
So that
to
happens
it,
a lot, where it's like there's nothing that I can see in the edit, and then suddenly it'll hit.
Yeah.
And then it's like boom, then you just take off with it.
Right, and then it affects like the earlier stuff too.
stuff
reverberates.
That's what happened to me with the Bill and Ted scene.
Yeah.
So like that feeling of, oh fuck, I think I nailed this happened.
And isn't it weird how you couldn't even like figure out how you got to that point? It's such a messy,
accidental,
it's such a messy way that you get there.
And I think there's people who can like plan it and or at least create an environment that it harbors that, I guess.
Yeah.
Because for me it was like I had to come here to the office to like actually not be in my
Get
zone.
out.
Which that a lot of people need that type of thing.
And I think that helped in such a huge way for me to like get into that zone.
What about seeing it completed too? Like
that was like
was that just a
I
big,
mean, I felt like we had made like a special thing at that point.
which I mean it was. So.
Yeah. For me, it's not until I actually see a finished thing that I go like, shit, I guess we kind of nailed that, huh?
Yeah.
Like Mike and I did this like weird comedy improv thing on one of the latest episodes of DB. And we turned it into a TikTok and people like love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess it's good then.
Yeah,
huh?
because in the moment you were just
So
like, whatever.
Yeah. And I don't think it's as good as it is until a bunch of people are like, oh shit, this is good.
Yeah.
And then I go like, oh, that feels kind of good.
Isn't
then.
that? Yeah, that's what sucks too, though,
It's like,
about
yeah.
making something too, is when you need that validation to know that it was good.
I blame parenting.
Yeah.
I blame coddling and,
Yeah.
and expecting some sort of result of being yourself. Some kind of congratulatory
Praise from doing.
What do they call the fucking medals that they give to all the kids?
Participation.
The participation trophy. Yeah, I
it-
blame that.
It comes down like what you guys are talking about there. It's like that balancing of expectation, but also like of audience response, right? And where you're going to get the validation, because it shouldn't just be that; it should be the journey. And I find that through the journey, to answer your question for me, Kevin, is that it's always based on various moments of elation is where I think I'm doing things right. And I think that comes from me. Everything that I've done has mostly been collaborative and with people, improv background. I guess comedians, it's just what we do. We want laughs, but I know something feels good and is going right, at least in the moment. And these are the moments, to answer your question, where I go, this is working. When you're with a group of people, if you're acting or whatever, or even behind the camera, like when I was at Smosh, and everybody's laughing. The actors are laughing. The people behind the cameras are laughing. There's a moment of
you
shared
get that feeling when everyone's laughing together.
elation.
Yeah.
That just to me is like, okay, something's right here. We're all laughing together.
It's
We're
hard
writing
to
it.
it's hard to reflect on whether a moment was nailed or not when you're doing like an improv scene or something, because you can't really take a moment to stop to be like,
And
whoa, I
see.
nailed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to like stay in that zone, in that character, and you got to just keep going.
So, but that's from the collaborative like area, right?
Right.
And then that's also when you present your finished work, you're hoping that you're getting that from the audience as well. And that's another validation. When I'm by myself, if I'm writing or editing, it's those moments that I'm laughing by myself.
Totally.
And like that's when I know an idea is good. And I'll do that like when I'm writing movie game prompts. I'll know one's really good because I'm laughing. I'm literally laughing by myself while I'm writing, and I'm like, this is this is good.
I mean, same thing happens to me when I'm editing. It's,
And editing.
I'll just
Yep.
start laughing at myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And if that's
my
happening,
favorite times are when Kevin will send us a clip
yep.
because he thinks it's so funny
Yeah.
to show us. Yeah, that's always because it means that he really thinks it's funny, and
Yep.
that makes me happy.
Yep.
Exactly. So those, those
a lot
are the
of times
moments.
it's just trying to make Kevin laugh at this point.
But yeah, I think because there's so many different aspects to it,
And yeah, well, that's why I wanted to ask you guys, because I know you guys are from the improv, like collaborative, much more collaborative, where I am more like
Locked away in a cave.
independent with
well,
it.
and I've done, and you've done it too, Steve. Like I've done my fair share of editing in my life in the last 16
Yeah.
years, and
Yeah, you've worn a lot of hats.
editing is a different beast for me, and it's I still live off of those moments where you laugh at it, and it's so good that you're like, yes, this works because
Yeah.
I'm laughing at it by myself.
Did you have that with your Bill and Ted scene, with your Bill and Ted stuff you were doing?
I wanted to go bigger. I was a little disappointed, but the point
I
that
liked
I was
where you went with it, though.
I wanted
you
to-
used
I
just
wanted to
all
be-
of the time travel stuff.
yeah, I wanted it to be even longer and more ridiculous. But with editing with me, it's like a weird perfectionism comes out of me, and also maybe a lack of talent to the point where I'm never. It's hard for me to be like so fucking happy with an edit, and this goes all the way back to Barats and Beretta days. It's very hard to be like, this is it.
Yeah.
It's done, because there's always a feeling that you could do more.
more.
Yeah.
Or get rid of things or alter it. At some point, you have to just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me, there's very few things that that I've made that I feel like are like perfect or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
to me,
totally.
perfect. You know,
I
like,
don't think, I think that'd be
Yeah.
rare to find somebody
I
who's
don't-
like, that's perfect. I mean,
yeah.
unless you're kind of arrogant, I think.
I really like the $5 blowjob sketch
Yeah.
from
It's your
Good Kid
favorite.
Family, though. Like
There's-
that was like one of my favorite things to like make, pretty much.
And that was one of the examples of you did know where you were going with it from
Yeah.
start to finish, conception to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted this guy to like not be able to make this guy come. And then they fall in love in the end.
At a carnival, full circle.
Full circle. Oh shit.
You think you can last during my dirty, bad blowjob for $5, son?
But yeah, like that one feels like I go back to that and I'm like, man, this is really well made and stuff.
Yeah,
But like,
which-
I'll go back to a lot of stuff and go like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
I like this
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Why?
I was remarking to myself, I think yesterday, it's like so much of my life has been online and making
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
The 16 years and the type of fare that we have made with like SourceFed and how much we put of ourselves into that. It wasn't just doing the news, it was doing the news as ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was sitting on Common Commentary as ourselves. And then we got to this natural point where like sharing everything, probably too much at
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
of ourselves. It's just all there in this weird
Yeah.
time capsule for if my kids are interested
That's
or
what
anybody
I
else
They can
think
see
about too, yeah.
everything.
they can go back.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
thinking about times where I was feeling emotionally at my worst, but I was still like
Yeah. Big time.
doing shit on camera and being like, "Ugh!" And I'm like, man, I don't think I could watch any of that
Yeah.
and see where I was and like,
You'd see it through your eye. You'd be just
Oh,
you'd see the
1,000,000,000%.
the blackness.
I don't want that. Yeah, there's many things I'll probably never watch again just because I don't want to remember where I was and see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pain behind those eyes.
It's even just with pictures. That
right,
can
right.
happen.
Pictures
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's,
Crazy.
It's interesting. We certainly have, and that's why I'm kind of like. At this point in my life, I'm like, man, I just gotta like go out and do stuff. Like I gotta do zip
Yeah.
lines and things, and like
Instead
do
of trying to
things.
put it all onto
Because-
a platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because for me, it's like also like if I'm just in the podcast world, like kind of living in that place, I have to have things to like
To
talk
talk about, yeah.
Because as much as our lives have been on the internet, as much and like we've also just talked endlessly about it, and it has to be like interesting, and it has to be fun, and it
Yeah.
has to be good, and it has to be this, and it has to be that, and it's like, man, I guess I should just start going out into the world and getting things to talk
Life
about.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, the pandemic legitimately affected the ability to sit
ability.
here and talk about stuff
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I would even come in at times going like, I am the most uninteresting person on the planet.
Truly,
I
yeah.
haven't done anything.
The same exact thing every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
For like a year, and you can only talk about it so
Dude,
much.
I have to tell you before I take this last sip of tea, and then we can get out of here. But I have to tell you what happened. A while back, I told you guys that I went to a Ren fair.
Yes.
And that I had a great time.
Yes.
Yes.
Did I tell you guys what happened at the ATM? Did we talk about it on the show?
Oh no.
We didn't talk about what happened at the ATM.
Oh.
So really quickly, I was with my friend Sam Humphreys. Shout out
to Sam Humphrey.
And we were waiting in the ATM line because, as a lot of things at rent fairs are, there's like cash-only merchants, and
Yeah.
it's helpful to be able to like tip your bar hostess
Barber.
and your barber, your bar wench, respectively. But so we were standing in the ATM line. It was very long. And we were just kind of standing there and just making these,
People
like,
wanted
kinda-
their mead, dude.
They wanted their meat and they wanted their popcorn and spaghetti. Pizza. Nothing better than meat and spaghetti. But
spaghetti on a hot day.
fucking, I mean, it
wasn't too bad,
It was nice actually, but still, like
Ugh.
in the forest at a rent fair. Anyway, but
Mom spaghetti.
so me and Sam were just talking about, like, we were making these observations, like, wow, look at all these costumes. Like, wow, that person looks pretty cool, actually. Wow, look at that booth over there. Crystals, huh? All right. And then this girl that was standing in front of us turns to me and says, you guys sound like you're on a podcast. And we just proceeded to, like, laugh at each other. And then I started to realize that maybe it wasn't a funny observation.
It wasn't a compliment.
Maybe it was like a fucking like a burn, like a sick burn.
I still don't get what kind of burn that would have been, though.
Because we're just like, because we were very obviously LA people,
Okay.
I think. And I think more than anything, LA people
Just,
are
like,
like
talking
that.
about all that
yeah.
stuff.
And all these
Yeah.
fucking podcasts come out of these LA fucks talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
And if you listen to podcasts, there's certainly like a moniker from like LA people. And to me, I think if it was meant to be a burn in some way, it was because it was like, you guys just fucking sound like you have a podcast.
Yeah.
Standing in this line is brought to you by MeUndies.
Yeah, well, that's what we started to do. We started to go like, anyway, speaking of cool things, what about Squarespace and stuff like that? And then Sam was like, so I was sleeping kind of bad last night, and then I went home to my Casper mattress. And we were just like having all this fun with it, but it was like later, we just couldn't stop thinking about it because it was like,
It is a random
Have we
thing for somebody
turned-
that you
It is.
don't know. The first thing they say to you.
and yeah.
You sound like you're on
Like
a podcast.
like, bro, but that's the thing. It's like, but they weren't saying it like they were an asshole. They were like, "You sound like you're on a podcast." Yeah, and it was like, I just don't know.
I find it to
how
be like a
take
little bit of a
it.
compliment because in a way it's like you in podcast form are very much yourself.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like even out in the real world, not on mic, you're still going to sound just like you do right now on a podcast.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which that's how I take it.
But I just haven't stopped thinking about it because either it's funny or fucked up. But everybody was like considering it a burn pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was like, whatever. I mean, to me, it's like, look, it's my job to be a podcaster,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
So
I guess you're good at your job.
maybe I just sound like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just what I sound. I don't know. Now I'm all self-conscious about it.
out in public.
Anyway,
Wait,
ladies
wait.
and
Drum roll.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to take the last sip of piss.
And the piss is gone.
Thank you guys for listening to today's episode of the Valleycast. We appreciate you. To our patrons, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're gonna be back to our regularly scheduled show with Elliot Morgan and maybe some guests at some point soon too, which would be really fun. And yeah, whatever, man. Well, thank you guys for sticking around. Any plugs?
Moving game.
Movie game.
And I don't know how deep into the months this episode is, but Dynamic Banter is going on an East Coast tour. I don't know.
What are the dates?
December 1st and 2nd.
Oh yeah, it's coming. This would be like an October podcast.
Great. So if tickets are still available, definitely check that out. We probably have links in our socials at Mike or myself or at our DB stuffs. So if you're on the East Coast, we'd love to see you. So please come by. Beautiful. And Kevin will be there. You want to see this handsome lad? You better fucking come.
If you're down, if you're
Last sip of piss. Last sip of piss.
Last sip of piss. Last sip of piss. Everybody, last sip of piss.
Last sip of piss.